During the late 1960s and the time of the Vietnam War, a popular anti-war slogan was, quote, "Make love, not war," unquote. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day 5 of Balaq, and we are in Numbers chapter 25, and we read these words beginning with verse 1. And Israel dwelt in Shittim, and the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab. And they invited the people to the slaughtering of their mighty ones, and the people ate and bowed down to their mighty ones. Thus Israel was joined to Baal Peor, and the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel. We have to ask the question, what in the world are the men of Israel thinking? And that's just it. They are thinking like the world. Shittim references a particular tree, the acacia tree, which has thorns as a part of its makeup. And the thorn in Israel's side, proverbially speaking, has always been and continues to be that they want to be included among the rest of the nations. They want to be like everybody else. Yah calls us to be a set-apart people, a unique, peculiar people. That doesn't sit well with us when we are against the grain of the world that is around us. And so when Balaam had gone to the heights, being urged by Balaq to find a fatal flaw in Israel, he saw none and could only bless and not curse. We later on find out that Balaam counsels the Moabites to send your gorgeous women in and seduce them. How is it that the Moabite Midianite women were any more beautiful than the women of Israel? I've been to Israel on several occasions, and I can tell you that, yes, the women in Israel, they are a lovely, lovely group of people. Israel just has the physical characteristics in their DNA, however it works. The ladies there are beautiful. And why someone would want that which does not belong to them and if not their culture, I guess it is the alluring attraction of the exotic by comparison to the normal, everyday, we see you all the time versions. However, it played in the Israelite mind of these particular men. They fell prey. Well, what is the root here? The root, I think, goes back a little bit further. And that is now that for decades, some 4 decades, Israel has lived on manna primarily. And that's not to say that they haven't had meat from their herds. I'm sure that they had. But their primary means of nutrition has been daily a provision from heaven of manna. Now, Rashi, among other rabbinical writers, has talked about that whatever flavor of food that one would desire, if they wanted fruit or a vegetable or a meat flavor, that the manna would taste like that according to their desire. Possibly so. I wouldn't put that past the ability of Yah whatsoever. But here's the aspect of manna that maybe we don't think about. Manna coming from a source other than the physical realm. This is miraculous bread, daily delivered, except for Shabbat. It is reasonable to understand that this pure food was so pure that there was no need for elimination of waste byproducts because there were none. That is, that the purity of manna was at the extent that it was completely 100% absorbed and used by the human body, and there was no waste product whatsoever, which would have been a great benefit to having to pack up your shovel and go to the extremity of the camp, which could be a very, very long walk, just to have that natural process take place. Therefore, it would increase the sanitation of Israel. It would strengthen Israel. It would be a very convenient thing. What may have attracted these men, however, is the attraction of the natural. Can you imagine living in a spiritual and heightened environment to the extent that the natural not only pales by comparison, but at some point becomes desirous? I just like to get back to normal a little bit. Have you ever used that phrase? Why can't we just get back to normal? Whatever that might be. And so these men that have donned their tallits and tzitzit and worshiped and prayed and been accepted by the creator of the universe, now are being approached by beautiful foreign women who are inviting them to come to a festival and a feast. Let's make love, not war. What could be more alluring then to these men than to have such a date offered to them? And they go, and there are foods that are laid out on the tables. I'm sure they were attractive foods. And it may be in their mind, the body's actually going to get a chance to work the way it was originally designed to do. And what could be more natural after eating a sumptuous feast and being seduced and promoted and ego stroked by such a beautiful babe? What's more natural than just wanting to be with her? And so they were appealing to the natural desires of the flesh, and here's where the other side of the slash is where they failed, I think, to discern lust of the flesh. Given in to natural cravings. If Yah put these desires in us, why does he judge us for having these desires and following through on them? That's often used teenage excuse for promiscuity. Yah allows us to follow through on our Yah design urges, these designs of function, but within the boundaries and confines of that which is righteous. So we eat, but we only eat the foods that he has set apart. We have intimacy, but it's within the bounds of marriage. These are the ways of Yah's design. It sets us apart from the nations. These men failed to be set apart. And so they find themselves now arguing, if it's natural, it can't be wrong. When this is brought to a heightened point here, they come before Moshe and they began to make this argument before him, so much that Zimri, a leader among the Reubenites, comes in parading a Midianite princess and saying, tell me that it's wrong. How can this be wrong? What they're leaving out is that they had to go and bow down before a false idol before the women would consent to be with them. Pay the due to the idol, and I will lay with you. And men that had been driven to a heightened point with wine and with food and with beauty failed to reason why not, to the extent that thousands and thousands died unnecessarily. Guys, especially, we have to keep our wits about us, keep our eyes where they belong, keep our hearts alleged to our wives and to the Most High. Just a warning and an encouragement. Shabbat Shalom. May you enjoy a feast and a festival righteously with the Most High and bow before He and He alone And may you and your family, your loved ones, enjoy the peace and shalom of Yeshua, our Messiah. Until next week, Shabbat Shalom.